This is a word problem trying to express a relationship between the distance of a car from a certain reference point and time, measured in seconds. Now, I want to draw a little picture here. This won't take long. But if you imagine a reference point, in other words, it's like a place where we're going to put the ruler to start measuring things, a tape measure or whatever. So this is our reference point over here. And the car is going to go a certain distance past that reference point. And the distance past the reference point is simply x. The time that the car spends driving is t. And if we look at this equation right here, this is very important. This is the equation relating x and t to each other. So I want to turn that into a table. I'm going to put x of t in one column of the table, and in the other column I'm going to put t. So I can put in all sorts of variables or values for t, and you can guess here, but I'd always start guessing at 0. That's a really useful point. 0 tells you the starting point of the car. And then we could try 1 and 2 and 3 seconds and so on until you get bored. So if I plug 0 into my equation, look what's going to happen. 22 times 0 is 0, and then I have plus 35. So I just get 35. Okay. If I plug in 1, 22 times 1 is 22, plus 35. I get 57. Plug in 2, 22 times 2 is 44, plus 35. You get 79. Okay, so this is telling you the x distance from our reference point at all these different values of time. You can see the car is just driving along. And maybe we'll label this. Okay, I'm going to put 35 right there and 0 down here. And then 57 and 1 and 79 and 2. You can see this car just sort of moving along this track. And now we have to interpret. Here's where the question asks us to think about something. Okay, it wants us to interpret the number 35 in the context of what I just explained. Well, 35 is right here. You can see it on our picture. So what that means is 35 is the distance of the car from the reference point at time equals 0. Well, what's another way of saying time equals 0? You might think of that normally as simply the starting point, right? Sometimes a challenge in these problems is relating a variable like t equals 0 to words in English. That's the starting point. That's when we start the clock. So for whatever version of this problem you're working on, you want to make maybe a table, okay, over on the right side. You want to make a picture if you can. And then you want to think about how English words and math words kind of relate to each other and what t equals 0 means. What maybe you're working with a temperature or a thermostat one, what temperature of 0 equals, and so on.